For most people, life follows a pattern. You grow up, you work hard, you try to be good, and you hope life will return that goodness one day. But my life never followed patterns. My life was a long road of sacrifice and betrayal, paved with the faces of people I once trusted. My name is Rehan, and until the age of 23, I believed loyalty was the strongest bond between two people. I believed trust could never be broken by someone who shared your home, your food, your laughter. I believed family meant protection, but I was wrong. I learned the truth in the most brutal way possible, that sometimes the people you protect the most are the ones who quietly sharpen knives behind your back. I grew up without parents. A tragic road accident erased them from my life in a single night. I was left with memories too heavy for a child to carry. After their death, I lived with my aunt's family. They were good people, kind people, working-class people with little to their name, but a big enough heart to take in an orphan. And in that house lived my cousin Hamza, the boy I grew up calling my brother. He was older by just 1 year, tall, charismatic, with the kind of charm that could convince anyone to trust him. While I was quiet and reserved, he was always the center of attention, always wanting more, always craving the spotlight. When we were children, I thought it was a harmless trait. Only when we grew older did I realize it was hunger. A hunger that would one day swallow everything in its path, including me. Life was never merciful, but it made me determined. At 18, I found a job at a local workshop. The work was tough, greasy hands, long hours, low pay, but I embraced it. I worked during the day, studied in evening college, slept barely 4 hours. Every rupee I earned went into a small metal box under my bed. My dream wasn't luxurious. I just wanted to open a tiny computer shop, something clean, something stable, something mine. And strangely enough, Hamza supported me. Or at least, he pretended to. He used to tell me, "Rehan, mark my words, you're gonna build something big one day." I would smile, believing him, never noticing the jealousy hiding in the corners of his eyes. 3 years later, after endless struggle, I finally saved enough. I rented a small shop, bought 2 old computers, a used printer, a counter, and painted the walls myself. I named it Tech Nest, a nest for dreams, a nest for survival. For the first time in my life, I felt the warmth of achievement. People from the neighborhood came for printing. Students came to type assignments. Office workers came for emails and documents. The shop grew slowly but steadily, and with each passing month, I felt myself standing a little taller. Life was finally giving me space to breathe, but good times have a way of attracting snakes. Hamza started visiting my shop frequently. At first, it felt nice. We'd talk, joke, eat together. Then one day, he approached me with a serious look. He said he had a business idea, something big, something guaranteed to work, but he needed money. He promised he'd return it in a month. I didn't hesitate. He was family. He was my brother, and trusting him felt natural. So I gave him everything I had saved for the next upgrade of the shop, every rupee, every coin. I didn't know that would be the beginning of the end. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Hamza stopped visiting my shop. He stopped answering calls. He avoided me at home. Whenever I asked about the money, he would change the subject, throw excuses, or sometimes get angry, accusing me of pressuring him. Slowly, I realized he was never going to return it. But what choice did I have? I stayed silent, rebuilt from scratch, worked extra hours, and forced myself to remain patient. Because sometimes the cruelty of destiny isn't the betrayal itself, It's the silence that follows it. Time dragged forward. 2 years later, my shop had grown again. I hired 2 helpers, installed 3 new systems, and finally felt stable. But Hamza, he had disappeared from my life. Rumors spread that he was doing well, had entered some private business, and was earning big money. I couldn't confirm anything. I didn't care. I just kept my head down and worked. That was until one evening when everything changed. I remember that day clearly. The sun was setting, casting long orange shadows across the city. I was closing the shop when a man in a black suit approached me. He looked official, serious. He held an envelope with my name written on it. When I opened it, my heart nearly stopped. It was an eviction notice. According to the document, the land my shop stood on had been sold. I had 1 week to vacate. My entire livelihood was about to be wiped away. I rushed to the land office the next morning. I demanded to know who bought the property. The officer flicked through files and told me a name that froze my blood. Hamza, my cousin, my brother, the man I trusted with every piece of my life. He had bought the land quietly, secretly, and now he was throwing me out. I stood there, unable to breathe. Why would he do this? What did I ever do to him? Slowly, painfully, the truth crawled into my mind. My growing shop had become a threat to him. My success pricked his ego. My survival irritated him. My existence bothered him. I returned home with shaking steps, but things were about to get worse. When I reached, I saw Hamza stepping out of a brand new car, wearing expensive clothes, laughing on the phone. He saw me, smirked, and without shame said, "Oh, you found out? Yeah, it's business, Rehan. Nothing personal. You'll manage. You're a hard worker, right?" His tone was full of mockery. I felt something crack inside me. A small, sharp fracture deep in my chest. I said nothing. That night, I packed my things and left the house. I slept on the shop floor for the next week, watching customers decline, income collapse, and my dreams crumble piece by piece as the eviction date approached. When the day finally came, I stood outside the empty shop, holding the keys that no longer mattered. Hamza arrived in his luxury car, stepped out, and said, "Don't take it to heart, brother. You should have been smarter." He walked away, laughing. That's the moment something inside me died, and something else was born. Revenge. Cold, patient, calculated revenge. I disappeared from the city overnight. No goodbyes, no explanations. People thought I gave up, collapsed, ran away. But I wasn't running. I was rebuilding, far from everyone's eyes. I moved to Karachi, took a job at a cybersecurity firm, learned everything I could about hacking, digital tracing, financial forensics, business structures, and corporate loopholes. I became a ghost, silent, invisible, unknown. For 3 years I worked tirelessly, becoming an expert in digital warfare. I built contacts, networks, strategies. I didn't just want revenge. I wanted precision. I wanted Hamza to lose everything he stole and everything he built using my money. I wanted him to feel the same helplessness I once felt, standing outside my destroyed shop. When I finally returned to the city, no one recognized me. I had changed, in appearance, in mind. Hamza, on the other hand, had become even richer, even more arrogant. He owned businesses, properties, luxury cars, and a massive mansion guarded by cameras and security. But even the strongest walls crumble when the foundation is rotten. Over the next 6 months, I attacked his world silently. I hacked his accounts, traced illegal transactions, gathered proof of tax evasion, exposed his scams, and anonymously sent everything to the authorities. I infiltrated his business partners, revealed his lies, made them turn against him. One by one, his investments collapsed. Government froze his accounts. His partners abandoned him. His properties came under investigation. His mansion was raided. His cars were seized. His empire crumbled faster than he built it. Hamza had no idea who was behind it. Until the day he saw me. He was sitting alone in a small rented apartment. The same man who once mocked me, now destroyed, tired, broken. His lips trembled when he saw me enter. His voice cracked. "Rehan, you did all this?" I looked him in the eyes for the first time in years and said calmly, "You should have remembered one thing. Karma never forgets an address." He fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness, but the time for forgiveness had passed long ago. I didn't touch him. I didn't threaten him. I simply turned around and walked away. Because revenge is never complete when you destroy someone's life. Real revenge is complete when you destroy their pride. Today, I run a successful cybersecurity company. I rebuilt my life from scratch, stronger than before. And Hamza, he lives quietly, far from the world, working a simple job, learning the taste of humility he once lacked. Sometimes, I pass by the old neighborhood. People whisper about how Hamza lost everything. But none of them know the truth. Only he knows, and I know, and that is enough. Because betrayal creates wounds, but karma creates justice. And justice always returns, even if it takes years to arrive.